First Contact's deception. Captain Marcus Chen stood at the helm of the EFS Intrepid, his weathered hands gripping the tactical display as he studied the seemingly peaceful Zexarian diplomatic vessel approaching Earth's defense perimeter. After 20 years of deep space exploration, humanity had finally made contact with an advanced alien civilization. The Zexarians had appeared 3 months ago, promising technological exchange and peaceful cooperation. "Something doesn't feel right about this, Captain," said Lieutenant Kira Patel, her dark eyes fixed on the sensor readings. The Zexarian ship, with its crystalline architecture and pulsing blue energy signature, was exactly where it should be, but Kira's quantum variance detectors were picking up anomalous readings from the nearby asteroid belt. Marcus had learned to trust Kira's instincts during their 5 years serving together. She had an uncanny ability to spot patterns others missed. "Talk to me, Lieutenant. What are you seeing?" The background radiation patterns, they're too uniform, like someone's generating a field to mask something bigger. Kira's fingers danced across her console, adjusting the sensor's frequency range. First Officer Raj Malhotra stepped forward, his expression grave. "Captain, we're receiving the diplomatic delegation's credentials now. Everything matches the protocols we established." Marcus nodded slowly, but his mind was racing. The Zexarians had been almost too accommodating, too eager to share their supposedly advanced technology. Their representative, High Emissary Vex, had spoken eloquently about unity between their species. But Marcus had noticed how the aliens' silver eyes seemed to study Earth's defenses during every meeting. "Run a full-spectrum analysis of that asteroid field," Marcus ordered, "and get me Admiral Yuki on secure channel." Before Raj could comply, Kira's console erupted in alerts. "Captain, massive energy spike in the asteroid belt. The radiation field is collapsing." The bridge crew watched in horror as the seemingly empty space behind the diplomatic vessel shimmed like a curtain being torn away. Where there had been nothing but floating rocks moments before, now there was an armada. Hundreds of Zexarian warships materialized, their sharp crystalline hulls gleaming in the starlight. "By the stars," Raj whispered. "They've been there the whole time, every diplomatic meeting, every goodwill gesture." "It was all a setup," Marcus finished, his voice hard. "They were positioning their fleet while we welcomed them with open arms." He hit the shipwide comm. "All hands to battle stations, this is not a drill." The Intrepid's warning sensors blared as the Zexarian diplomatic vessel's peaceful facade dropped away, its hull reconfiguring to reveal weapon ports. Admiral Yuki's hologram appeared on the bridge, her face tense. "Captain Chen, are you seeing this?" "Yes, Admiral, the Zexarians have been playing us. That's not just a battle fleet, it's an invasion force. Our long-range sensors are detecting more ships emerging from quantum space," Kira reported, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. "They're using some kind of phase technology we've never seen before. These ships, they're not just cloaked, they're existing partially out of our dimension." Marcus's tactical training kicked in as he assessed their options. Earth's defense fleet was substantial, but they were facing technology far beyond their current understanding. The Zexarians had clearly been preparing this moment for months, perhaps years. "Admiral," Marcus said, "I recommend immediate implementation of Protocol Omega. If they've been watching us this long, they probably know our standard defense strategies." Admiral Yuki nodded grimly. "Agreed, all ships execute Protocol Omega and Captain Chen, give them hell." The bridge lights dimmed as the Intrepid systems diverted power to weapons and shields. Marcus watched as Earth's defense fleet moved into formation, preparing for what would become humanity's first interstellar war. "They think they know what we're capable of," Marcus said to his crew. "They think they've seen our full strength during these months of observation, but they haven't seen anything yet." He turned to Kira. "Lieutenant, start analyzing their phase technology. If we can understand how they're shifting between dimensions, we might find a weakness." As the first salvos of energy weapons lit up space around them, Marcus felt a strange calm settle over him. The Zexarians had made a crucial mistake. They had underestimated humanity's ability to adapt, to innovate, to survive against impossible odds. "Send word to all Earth colonies," he ordered. "The deception is over, the real fight begins now." The massive Zexarian fleet advanced, their ships moving with impossible grace through space. But aboard the Intrepid, humanity was already preparing to show these aliens exactly what they were capable of when pushed to the edge. The war for Earth's survival had begun, and Captain Marcus Chen intended to make sure the Zexarians regretted their deception. They would learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their ships or their weapons. It was in their unbreakable spirit and their refusal to submit to any force that threatened their existence. The quantum ambush. The battle had been raging for 6 hours, and the space around Earth was a graveyard of broken ships. The Intrepid's bridge was bathed in red emergency lighting as Captain Marcus Chen watched another human vessel succumb to the Zexarians' phase-shifted weapons. Their technology is incredible, Lieutenant Kira Patel said, her voice tight with frustration as she worked at her console. Every time we think we've locked onto their ships, they shift partially out of our dimension. It's like trying to catch smoke with your hands. First Officer Raj Malhotra approached with a datapad showing the latest casualty reports. We've lost 30% of the fleet, Captain, but something strange is happening. The Zexarians aren't pressing their advantage. They're holding position just beyond Mars' orbit. Marcus studied the tactical display, his mind racing. The Zexarians had superior numbers and technology, yet they were being cautious, almost too cautious. They're waiting for something, he muttered. Kira, what have you learned about their phase technology? It's fascinating, actually, Kira replied, pulling up her analysis. They're using quantum field generators to exist partially in multiple dimensions at once. But there's a pattern to their shifts. They can't stay phased indefinitely. They have to return to normal space every 43 seconds. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Every 43 seconds exactly. Yes, sir, it's completely consistent across all their ships. I think it's a limitation of their technology. A plan began forming in Marcus's mind. Raj, get me Admiral Yuki, and contact Dr. James Wong at Quantum Defense Labs. I need to confirm something. Minutes later, both the Admiral's hologram and Dr. Wong's appeared on the bridge. Dr. Wong, a brilliant physicist with wild gray hair and tired eyes, listened intently as Kira explained her findings. Fascinating, Dr. Wong said, stroking his chin. Captain, we've been working on something that might help. It's experimental, but given the circumstances. We're all ears, Doctor, Admiral Yuki said. We've developed quantum resonance charges, weapons designed to disrupt the fabric of spacetime itself. They're dangerous and unpredictable, but if Lieutenant Patel's analysis is correct, we might be able to tune them to the Zexarians' phase frequency. Marcus leaned forward. What would that do to their ships? Best case, it would trap them in normal space, making them vulnerable to conventional weapons. Worst case, the charges could tear apart the spacetime continuum in the target area. Admiral Yuki's hologram flickered. That sounds like an unacceptable risk, Doctor. With respect, Admiral, Marcus interrupted, we're running out of options. The Zexarians are waiting for reinforcements. Once they arrive, Earth won't stand a chance. A tense silence filled the bridge. Finally, Admiral Yuki nodded. Do it, but Captain, if this goes wrong. I know, Admiral, I'll take full responsibility. The next hour was a blur of activity. Dr. Wong's team transmitted the quantum charge specifications to the Intrepid, while Kira worked frantically to calibrate them to the Zexarians' phase frequency. Raj coordinated with the remaining fleet vessels, positioning them for what would either be humanity's greatest victory or its final stand. Charges are ready, Kira announced. But sir, we'll only get one shot at this. Once they realize what we're doing, they'll change their phase frequency. Marcus nodded grimly. Then we make it count. All ships battle formation Delta, prepare to execute on my mark. The human fleet moved into position, appearing to retreat in disarray. The Zexarians, perhaps sensing weakness, began to advance. Their reinforcements are arriving, Raj reported. Multiple quantum signatures detected at the edge of the system. Perfect timing, Marcus said with a grim smile. Let them think we're running. Kira, start the countdown to their next phase shift. The bridge crew watched in tense silence as the massive Zexarian fleet moved closer, their crystalline ships shimming between dimensions. Kira's voice was steady as she counted down, phase shift in 10, 9, 8. Marcus's hand hovered over the tactical controls. Everything hinged on perfect timing. A 3, 2, 1. Now, Marcus shouted, all ships deploy quantum charges. Space itself seemed to scream as hundreds of quantum resonance charges detonated simultaneously. The fabric of reality buckled and warped around the Zexarian fleet. Ships that had been shifting between dimensions suddenly snapped into normal space, their quantum field generators overloaded by the carefully tuned charges. It worked, Kira exclaimed. They're locked in normal space. Marcus didn't waste a second. All ships concentrate fire on their command vessels, don't let them adapt. The human fleet struck with everything they had. Without their phase-shifting ability, the Zexarian ships were vulnerable. Energy beams and kinetic weapons tore through their crystalline hulls, shattering their once-invincible vessels into glittering fragments. The Zexarian reinforcements, witnessing the destruction of their main fleet, hesitated at the edge of the system. Humanity had just demonstrated that they could neutralize the aliens' greatest technological advantage. Message from the Zexarian flagship, Raj reported. They're requesting a ceasefire. Marcus stood at his tactical station, watching as the remaining Zexarian ships powered down their weapons. They had done it. Humanity had found a way to fight back against an enemy that had seemed unbeatable. But as he looked at the tactical display showing more Zexarian reinforcements arriving, Marcus knew this was just the beginning. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The Zexarians would adapt, find new ways to fight, and humanity would need to be ready. Send word to Earth, he ordered. Tell them to start mass-producing those quantum charges. And get me Dr. Wong again, we need to start working on our next surprise for our quantum-shifting friends. Operation Shadow Strike. 2 months after the quantum ambush, the EFS Intrepid floated silently in the darkness of deep space, its hull modified with salvaged Zexarian technology. Captain Marcus Chen watched as Dr. Wong and Lieutenant Kira Patel made final adjustments to their hybrid quantum drive system. The integration is holding stable, Kira reported, her fingers dancing across the modified controls. We've successfully merged their phase technology with our power grid. We can now shift between dimensions just like they do. Dr. Wong nodded, though worry lines creased his forehead. But remember, we can only maintain the phase shift for 30 seconds at a time. Any longer and the human components will start to break down. Marcus understood the risks. After their victory at Earth, they had recovered enough Zexarian technology to begin reverse engineering their capabilities. The Intrepid was now the testbed for humanity's adaptation of quantum phase technology, leading a specially modified strike force deep into enemy territory. Status report, First Officer Raj Malhotra called out as he entered the bridge. The rest of Shadow Fleet is in position. All ships report successful integration of the quantum systems. Marcus surveyed the tactical display showing their 12-ship strike force. They were smaller than the main Earth fleet, but each vessel had been extensively modified with hybrid technology. Their mission was clear: penetrate deep into Zexarian space and discover the true extent of their military capabilities. All ships prepare for synchronized phase shift, Marcus ordered. Remember your training, 30 seconds in quantum space, then we revert to normal. No exceptions. The bridge crew tensed as Kira initiated the countdown. The view outside the ship began to blur as reality itself seemed to bend around them. Marcus felt a strange tingling sensation as the Intrepid shifted partially out of normal space. Phase shift successful, Kira announced. All ships maintaining formation in quantum space, 25 seconds remaining. Moving through quantum space was disorienting. The stars seemed to smear across the void, and normal sensors were nearly useless. But the modified Zexarian technology allowed them to navigate this strange dimension, slipping past the enemy's conventional defenses. Multiple Zexarian patrol ships ahead, Raj reported. They haven't detected us. 15 seconds in quantum space, Kira called out. Marcus watched as they passed directly through the Zexarian patrol formation. In quantum space, they were ghosts, invisible to normal detection methods. This was how the Zexarians had hidden their invasion fleet, and now humanity was using their own trick against them. 5 seconds, preparing to revert to normal space. The transition back was always jarring. Reality snapped back into focus as the strike force emerged in normal space, deep behind enemy lines. They had penetrated further into Zexarian territory than any human ships before. All ships accounted for, Raj confirmed. But Captain, you need to see this. The main view screen activated, showing a massive structure floating in the distance. It was unlike anything they had seen before, a vast crystalline installation that pulsed with quantum energy. That's not a military base, Dr. Wong said, his voice filled with awe. That's a dimensional gateway. They're not just shifting between phases, they're preparing to bring their entire civilization into our space. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. How many ships could come through something like that? Thousands, maybe millions. The invasion fleet we stopped at Earth was just the advance force. Before Marcus could respond, Kira's console lit up with alerts. Multiple ships emerging from quantum space, they've detected us. All ships battle formation, Marcus commanded. Prepare for emergency phase shift on my mark. But as the Zexarian vessels surrounded them, something unexpected happened. Instead of opening fire, the alien ships held position. A transmission cut through their comms. "Humans," a familiar voice said. "You have surprised us once again. We did not expect you to master quantum technology so quickly." Marcus recognized the voice, High Emissary Vex, the same diplomat who had deceived them months ago. "We're full of surprises," he replied coldly. "Indeed, and now you have seen our gateway, you understand what is coming." "We understand that you're planning a full-scale invasion," Marcus said. "But if you think humanity will just stand by and let that happen—" "Captain Chen," Vex interrupted, "you misunderstand. The gateway is not for invasion, it is for escape." A stunned silence fell over the bridge. "Escape from what?" Marcus asked. "From them, the ones who drove us from our home dimension. We thought your space would be easy to conquer, that we could establish a new home here before they found us. But you have proven far more resourceful than we anticipated." New sensor contacts appeared on their screens, massive vessels emerging from quantum space, but these were different from the Zexarian ships. They were darker, more organic in design, and they were heading straight for the gateway. "They have followed us," Vex said, real fear in his voice. "And now they have found your dimension as well, perhaps. Perhaps we can help each other." Marcus looked at the approaching ships, then at his crew. They had come seeking intelligence about their enemy, only to find themselves caught in something far bigger than a simple invasion. "Keep our weapons armed," he ordered quietly, "but open a channel to Earth Command. I think the nature of this war is about to change dramatically." The Core World's Gambit. The war room aboard Earth's orbital command station was filled with tension as Captain Marcus Chen presented his findings to the assembled leadership. Admiral Yuki stood at the head of the table, her expression grave as she studied the holographic images of the mysterious new vessels. "These beings," Marcus explained, "are called the Void Hunters by the Zexarians. They're a race of dimensional predators that consume entire civilizations. The Zexarians didn't come here to conquer us, they came here to hide." Dr. Wang manipulated the holographic display, showing the quantum gateway's energy readings. "The gateway technology is incredible. It could revolutionize human space travel, but it also poses an existential threat. These Void Hunters can use it to reach our dimension." First Officer Raj Malhotra stepped forward. "The Zexarians are proposing an alliance. They've offered to share all their technology, including improved quantum phase systems and gateway control mechanisms. In exchange, they want our help defending against the Void Hunters." Lieutenant Kira Patel, who had been analyzing the Void Hunter ship designs, spoke up. "Their vessels appear to be partially organic, capable of adapting to attacks in real time. Conventional weapons might be useless against them." Admiral Yuki paced the room slowly. "Can we trust the Zexarians? They tried to invade us just months ago." "They're desperate," Marcus replied, "and fear makes for strange alliances. But I believe they're telling the truth about the Void Hunters, the energy signatures we detected from those ships. They're unlike anything we've ever seen." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had barely survived the Zexarian invasion attempt. Now they faced an enemy that had driven the Zexarians themselves to flee their home dimension. "We have a plan," Marcus continued, nodding to Kira, "but it's risky." Kira activated a new hologram showing a tactical overlay. "We've identified a unique characteristic of Void Hunter technology. Their organic ships require constant quantum energy to maintain their presence in our dimension. If we can disrupt that energy, we can send them back where they came from," Dr. Wang finished. "But to do that, we'd need to get close to their fleet, very close." Marcus stepped forward. "That's where the Zexarians come in. Their phase technology, combined with our quantum resonance charges, could give us the edge we need. We're proposing a joint strike force, human and Zexarian ships working together to defend the core worlds of both our civilizations." Admiral Yuki studied the tactical plans carefully. "And if this fails, if the Void Hunters adapt?" "Then we lose everything," Marcus said simply. but we lose everything if we do nothing too. The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. The Intrepid's crew worked alongside Zexarian engineers, merging their technologies in ways neither species had imagined possible. High Emissary Vex, now working as an ally, provided crucial insights into Void Hunter behavior. They hunt through dimensions, Vex explained during a strategy session, consuming technological civilizations, absorbing their knowledge, their energy. We fought them for generations before we realized we couldn't win not alone. The joint fleet assembled near Jupiter's orbit, 50 human ships and 30 Zexarian vessels, all modified with hybrid technology. The Void Hunter's main fleet was approaching the Quantum Gateway, their massive organic ships distorting space around them. All ships report ready, Raj announced from his station aboard the Intrepid. The Zexarians have synchronized their phase frequencies with ours. Marcus took a deep breath. Begin Operation Quantum Shield. All ships prepare for dimensional shift on my mark. The combined fleet moved in perfect synchronization, shifting between dimensions in a complex pattern designed to confuse the Void Hunter's sensors. As they approached the massive organic vessels, Marcus could see the enemy ship's surfaces rippling and changing, trying to adapt to their presence. "Energy spike," Kira shouted. "They're attempting to lock onto our quantum signature." "Now," Marcus ordered, "execute attack pattern Delta." The human Zexarian fleet split into precisely coordinated groups, each targeting a specific Void Hunter vessel. The aliens' organic ships responded instantly, their surfaces morphing to generate new weapons and defenses. But this time, they faced an enemy fighting with desperate innovation. Human quantum charges detonated in carefully planned sequences, creating dimensional disruptions that the Zexarian ships exploited with their advanced phase technology. "Direct hit on their flagship," Raj reported. "Their quantum field is destabilizing." Through the chaos of battle, Marcus watched as the massive Void Hunter ships began to lose their hold on normal space. Their organic hulls writhed in apparent agony as the combined human-Zexarian assault forced them back toward their home dimension. "They're retreating," Kira announced. "The quantum resonance is working, they can't maintain their presence here." One by one, the Void Hunter ships vanished, pulled back through dimensional space by the carefully orchestrated attack. As the last of them disappeared, a cheer went up through the combined fleet. But Marcus knew this wasn't the end. The Void Hunters would return, possibly with new adaptations to their tactics. Yet something profound had changed. Humanity and the Zexarians, former enemies, had proven they could work together against a common threat. "Message from High Emissary Vex," Raj said. "They're requesting a conference to discuss a permanent alliance." Marcus smiled grimly. "Tell them we accept. I think both our species have a lot to learn from each other." As the fleet regrouped, Marcus looked out at the stars, knowing that the galaxy and humanity's place in it would never be the same. Dawn of the Terran Alliance. 1 year after the Battle of the Quantum Gateway, Earth's orbital command station hosted an unprecedented gathering. Captain Marcus Chen stood at attention as representatives from 12 different alien civilizations filed into the Grand Assembly Chamber. Each species had their own story of fleeing the Void Hunters, and each had found their way to Earth's dimension through Zexarian gateways. "I never thought I'd see this day," Lieutenant Kira Patel whispered as she stood beside him. "A year ago, we thought we were alone in the universe. Then we thought we were about to be conquered. Now look at us." Marcus watched as High Emissary Vex entered alongside Admiral Yuki. The Zexarian diplomat's crystalline form caught the light, sending rainbow refractions across the chamber. The former enemies now moved with the easy familiarity of trusted allies. Dr. Wang sat at a console nearby, monitoring the quantum field stabilizers that allowed so many different dimensional refugees to exist safely in Earth space. The elderly scientist had worked tirelessly over the past year, combining human ingenuity with alien knowledge to create new defensive technologies. "The latest deep space sensors are ready," Dr. Wang reported. "If the Void Hunters try to break through into our dimension again, we'll have advance warning." First Officer Raj Malhotra, recently promoted to captain of his own vessel, joined their group. The combined fleet exercises are showing promising results. The Archean's organic technology, combined with Zexarian phase shifting and our quantum charges, were creating defenses the Void Hunters have never encountered before. Admiral Yuki called the assembly to order. The chamber fell silent as she stepped up to the central podium, her uniform adorned with the new insignia of the Terran Defense Force. "1 year ago," she began, "humanity learned we were not alone in the universe. We faced invasion, formed an unlikely alliance, and helped defeat a threat that has terrorized multiple dimensions. Today, we take the next step." Marcus watched as holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing the combined fleet that now protected their space. Human ships flew in formation with vessels of crystalline beauty, organic constructs, and designs that defied conventional physics. "The Terran Alliance," Admiral Yuki continued, "will not just be a military coalition. We propose a federation of species sharing knowledge, resources, and the commitment to defend all sentient life against the Void Hunters and any other threats that may emerge from the darkness between dimensions." High Emissary Vex stepped forward. "My people once thought we could survive alone. We thought we could simply take what we needed from your dimension. We were wrong. The humans showed us a different way: cooperation, innovation, and an indomitable spirit that refuses to submit to any threat, no matter how overwhelming." Marcus felt pride swell in his chest as he remembered the battles they had fought, the discoveries they had made, and the bridges they had built between species that once sought to destroy each other. Raj leaned close and whispered, "The Intrepid's been chosen to lead the first joint exploration mission. We'll be mapping quantum corridors, establishing early warning stations, and testing the new hybrid drives," Kira added with excitement. "The combined research teams think we can extend our phase shift duration to several minutes now." Dr. Wang smiled. "The quantum mechanics we're discovering, it's revolutionary. Every species brings new insights, new ways of understanding the universe." The assembly chamber erupted in applause as the various representatives signed the Alliance Charter. Marcus watched as, one by one, former enemies became official allies. The Zexarians, the Archeans, the crystalline Lumini, the energy-based Nexus, each species bringing their own strengths to the Federation. "Captain," Admiral Yuki called, gesturing Marcus forward. "The Alliance Council has a mission for the Intrepid. We've detected unusual quantum signatures in the Carina Nebula. Could be more dimensional refugees, or something else entirely." Marcus nodded, already feeling the familiar excitement of exploration building in his chest. But this time, he wouldn't be heading into the unknown alone. The Intrepid would lead a mixed crew, humans working alongside their new allies, combining their strengths and knowledge. As the assembly concluded, Marcus stood with his crew at the observation deck, watching the combined fleet perform a ceremonial flyby. The ships moved in perfect harmony, their different designs and technologies complementing each other in ways that would have seemed impossible just a year ago. "So," Kira said with a smile, "ready to see what else is out there, Captain." Marcus watched as a group of Zexarian engineers walked past, deep in discussion with human scientists about some new technological innovation. In the distance, a quantum gateway pulsed with energy, now a symbol of connection rather than invasion. "You know what, Lieutenant?" he replied. "I think the real adventure is just beginning. The Void Hunters forced all our species to come together, but what we're building here, this alliance, it's going to change everything." The stars seemed brighter somehow as the Intrepid prepared for its next mission. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger, not just surviving, but helping to forge a new coalition of species united in their determination to protect and explore the mysteries of multiple dimensions. The war that had begun with deception and fear had led to something none of them could have imagined: the dawn of a new era, where the combined strength of multiple civilizations stood ready to face whatever challenges the universe might bring.